All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all in one place.
Hi, this is David Wall. If you're like me and you're in need of a little, hump day pick-me-up Wednesdays, tune into 365 Balls for Laughs featuring Dr. Coco Feli. Wednesdays 8 to 11. Laughter.
Hi, this is Emin, and you're listening to Radio Regent.
What's up? This is Lance Taylor from While She Sleeps. We're here with 365 Balls for Laughs.
Hi, everybody. This is Alan Paul with Manhattan Transfer, and you're listening to 365 Balls for Laughs on Radio Regent and iHeart Radio.
Yes, and that's where you are, definitely with your blood cousin, your brother from another mother, Dr. Coco Feli, giving you the ones and twos and the in-betweens, our special champions, special Raptors go. We the North are we the champions. We want to thank you for continuously being a participant, participating in these airways participants. We are meeting and mingling and dropping and meeting and kicking balls together. So all of you that we run into from the outside, we holler you. To my suffering partner on the airways, Marshall Mark Tyson on Sabbatical, holler to you, and holler to my two executive officers, Mr. Malachi, congratulations on a fine journey of putting matters together and graduating tomorrow. As a matter of fact, work well done. Holla to Mr. AK. Out of sight is never an indication of out of mind to all of you. You don't see me, I see you. I'm a vegetarian, but you do some nice organic steak for me, I will smell it for you. This is 365 Balls for Laughs. We are on RadioRegent.com, and we are a family of the iHeart Radio. And don't forget, Saturdays, each and every Saturday, the cool breeze will be breezing you from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. And of course, Thursday, as I say, is always a groovy moment on Radio Regent from the Air Candy Show, Paul Kobe, and Cool's Groove, and of course starting up in the morning with my man TM Professor, the finest jazz producer in town. And of course Friday, my man Kubandla Show, Mr. Sankofa, will be Sankofalizing you with the African world. And of course my Anjara folks will come immediately after Cool Breeze. So hey, always make sure you're part of RadioRegent.com, because we are and still continue to be the movers and shakers of your edutainment. But definitely, and more importantly, don't forget, 365 Balls for Laughs unapologetically deal with matters accordingly. It's now 10:21 in the PM, and the last half hour we're going to dedicate it to indigenous music of Canada. And I had the pleasure of having a top 10 list from one of my profs, a powerful professor teaching indigenous theme and culture at Humber College, and of course, and a host of many others. Professor Madam Kerry Potts, thank you for sending me your top 10 listening pleasure we're going to share. We always ask folks to share their playlist with us, and you can sing your shower song in MP3, send it to us. You can send us your playlist and be a party to co-host. But for now, we're going to continue smoothly. We're going to be with you until 11, and I want to address certain things. Most of us in our home away from home we call Canada, we forget that there were indigenous people, the rightful owners of this land, who politicians from the first prime minister whose mission with the residential school was to take the Indian out of the Indian, a very dubious methodological educational system like the one that is impacting and destroying the mental state of the African world religion. I ask you to be a party of trying to know who our hosts are. Take a moment. Don't buy into the Hollywood that describe other people's culture. because Hollywood was the center, like the residential school system, the help to bastardize and to take the indigenous people out of their culture and tradition. So bravo to the aspiring and dedicated continuous work of critical and fearless indigenous people for taking a toll to the other end. I think the Truth and Reconciliation under the present Liberal government of Trudeau is a milestone. There's a lot of loopholes, but it is better than all those naysayers who think every social gain is political correctness. No, it is not. You cannot allow those who have wronged other people to be celebrated. I am not saying deface any history, but there are certain historical facts that we have in learning institutions and public places that are not supposed to be there. I am not one that say destroy them, but it can be placed in a museum so that we don't forget that evildoers with big names continue to be celebrated hopelessly. And I would love to deal with an article today that came in front of Toronto Star. Is one of my favorite newspapers, but there are times you wonder how these papers really get into the editorial room and put it on the front page. Silence is golden for mine in Tanzania. Green blood. For those of us who know how destructive, quote and unquote, mining industry is, most of these stories are not new. But what is more important, and what I want to put on the record, is these are broken record. Everyone knows the criminal enrichment of so-called resource companies. And by the way, over 70% of those companies are registered in Canada, as they continue to destroy and deface the so-called third world, especially places like Africa, like in Canada. We know how much impact it did to the indigenous people. But who are these investors who get into there? The investors are sometimes broke people like me, ventilated pocket, otherwise known as broke. They put together a company, and they have ordinary citizens of the world, especially of the West, invest into those companies. Whether it's unions, teachers' union, or whatever union, this is why the hypocriticalness of the West really disturbs us. It's ordinary people, professionals who pretend to be ethical. Their money is invested in these blood companies that go to destroy the environment, kill and rape people, and they sit and say these nations are poor. The Toronto Star article actually dealt with certain things. In Tanzania, reporters trying to investigate violence, environmental damage, and other wrongdoings connected to a gold mine in the north of the country are trapped between the silence of a mining giant and the lies of repressive government. At least a dozen reporters, local and international, who wrote about the mine have been censored or threatened. Forbidden these stories on international consortium of 40 journalists publishing in 30 media organizations around the world on the shameful history of gold leaving the North Mara mine to end up the coveted high-tech phones and computers. This is part of the Green Blood series, a project pursuing stories of journalists who have been threatened, jailed, or killed while investigating environmental issues. Truly innovative products have their mark on the world instead of the planet. Apple proudly claims on its website, "We are building a better world for future generations," says Canon CEO. Nokai's technology improves lives. Right now, responsible sourcing is clearly part of the cost of doing business. It is part of the commercialized need of a company to access markets and financials among others, said Taylor Girard, due diligence expert from Organization for Economic Cooperations and Development. Those are some of the fakey things we know and won't be missed if I say that these are broken records. We just saw that Oxfam sex abusers of vulnerable people, they are just let go. So we call on the world, if we really want to have a pollution-free world. Yes, it is good to harvest the resources of the world, but it is immoral and criminal for what these so-called philanthropists, most of them go to destroy other nations, and then they come, their names are planted in universities and hospitals, and they are celebrated as philanthropists. It is blood money. And my message is actually to unions. Unions of the West have disappointed and betrayed humanity. Stop investing in these blood-sucking organizations. Even church organizations invest, and most of them, they say it is for their retirement with good returns, and it got blood. We commend the write-up of the Toronto Star investigative reporting, but you ask, how did he get on the front page and what is next? As we keep on digging and digging and digging. I am your blood cousin, your authoritative, unapologetic commentary coming from my mouth, my responsibility, and no one else but me. We want a free and clean harvesting of mineral resources across the globe. Respect other people's backyard. If not, the whole world is suffering. The blood diamonds from Sierra Leone to Zimbabwe to South Africa to the backyards of the indigenous people in Canada and North America. We should stop and let's harness and be non-bystander to change the world. I'm your brother, Dr. Coco Fele. Stay wired as we continue smoothly. If you don't know me by now, yes, Anthem Soul by Harold Marvin and the Blue Notes on deck. Don't you go away.
To Coco Philly, inviting you to 365 Balls for Love. Clean, organic, family-friendly comedy. You got a comedy in your closet? Why can't you join us? www.radioregent.com or TuneIn Radio. You are in for a ball. Balls for Laughs.